All right. Well, first off, I just want to say thank you for getting on this call and doing a success story for Jolene and Kathleen over at System Success and Bullseye Hiring. And to start off with, why don't you just introduce yourself and then we'll get right into the questions?
Sure. Well, thanks, Scott, and it's my pleasure. I'm Maria Hoffman. I am a real estate agent here in Tampa, Florida, and we've been longtime agents and clients of Mike Ferry. So Jolene and Kathleen are pretty familiar with the way we run our business and familiar with the types of candidates we need to hire. And we decided several years ago that it made a whole lot more sense to bring in a professional to help us recruit and interview our staff. And it's been a long process, to get the great people that we now have working with us, and a lot of that has been thanks to them. So I'm happy to share that experience with you.
Great. So tell us, to start off with, how long have you been working with Jolene and Kathleen?
Gosh, it's been a long time. I don't know. I don't know how many years it's been, but several years, and in a couple of different capacities. So they've been helpful in hiring people, interviewing people, and then their onboarding or mentoring process has really been excellent in terms of helping bring people on board and training them and handling issues that come up when they do. And right now we're actually working with them to develop the team and the systems so that now we have the team we want in place. We're actually working with them. Our staff is in a mastermind group for assistants, which is a whole new experience for them. So that's pretty cool. And I'm also working with Kathleen on just ways to improve our systems. So we're always looking to improve and upgrade what we do. So Kathleen is almost kind of like my human resources department. That I don't have a department like that, but if I did, it would be her. So
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me, what intrigued you to reach out to them in the first place?
Well, as you know, it can be kind of hard hiring great real estate administrative professionals, and in our industry, we find generally there's due to a lot of different reasons, sort of there can be a shortage of great people, and so and when you're busy and you're doing a lot of transactions and helping a lot of people, just even taking the time away from taking care of your clients to go through the whole interviewing process, it can be kind of frustrating. So we realized that we'd rather bring in a professional to help us. I mean, that's why people hire us to sell their homes, right? I mean, they could do it themselves, but they know we're going to do a better job and save them time and stress. And so that's sort of, why we've brought them in.
Great. And before we started the recording and we were talking about this, you mentioned that one of the reasons that you really like working with them is because they know what you need. Would you mind explaining that a little bit more? How do you put the right person with you?
Well, you know what, Scott, I'm going to admit we are really picky. We're probably not the easiest people to work for, and we're looking for a really, really great candidate. The people that we hire have to be able to come in and really perform at a very high level, and it's not always easy to find that person. So Kathleen understands what we need, and she's been able to convey that to candidates, and then help take them through the screening process for us to get the right people on board. And in a way, I have to say, I mean, I think they consider themselves like part of our team, and we consider them part of our team, because they've certainly gone above and beyond evening phone calls, even weekend phone calls. I mean, when we've needed help with an issue or a problem, or hiring somebody, or putting together an offer letter, they've been available, which has been amazing.
Yeah, that does sound amazing. So I think you've covered quite a bit. Tell me, last question, What would you tell someone that may be on the fence about hiring Kathleen and Jolene to work with their team or to help them find an assistant that would be good for the position that they're looking for?
Well, I would say if they're doing the kind of volume that merits, getting great people on board, that they should definitely consider bringing in a professional. And once they've done that, I'd also highly recommend having those weekly mentoring calls that will sort of bring that person in and help them adjust to the job. And the great thing about it is that, my staff, they all love when they have their weekly calls or the calls that they have with Kathleen. Sometimes she can bring matters to my attention that they might not say to me. And so it's really been invaluable in developing a great working environment in my office. So I would say look at this as an investment in creating the type of environment that you want to create in your office. Hiring somebody, it's not a one-time thing. It's creating that environment that you want in your office, and it's important to make that person successful once you've hired them. So I would say definitely continue the relationship and take advantage of the services they offer after you've hired somebody.
Great. Well, Maria, we want to thank you a lot for doing this for Kathleen and Jolene today. Is there any last thing that you would want to add that maybe we didn't cover in the call?
I think, I just want to say, I think, Kathleen has helped me a lot personally in my own leadership, in my own growth as a leader and a manager, because that's something that a lot of us agents can, need to work on. And so that's been really, really helpful. And, we've set goals over the past year, and we've achieved a lot of those goals. So I just want to say thanks, and I really, really recommend them. So.
All right. Well, that's great. And thank you again for doing this for Kathleen and Jolene.
My pleasure. Thanks, Scott.